Howdy, everybody. We have a great show tonight on Poop Tip Tuesday. Topic 1, we're going to talk about bowel movements. Yes, how you can bowl better, have better bowel movements, get that strike every single time so you can have a perfect bowel habit and bowel movements as well. Number 2, we will talk about the microbiome, why it is a macro big deal, and why you should be worried and what you can do to hopefully get that taken care of for you. And then lastly, we'll talk about the brain in your belly, your second brain. Where is it at and what role it plays in your gut health live on today's Poop Tip Tuesday. Guys, let's talk about poop.
Hey guys, my name is Dr. Samir Islam. My passion is to give you tips and tricks to help out with your gut health. I grew up in a small town called Odessa, Texas. You may have known that from the movie Friday Night Lights or even the TV show. I did my undergrad at the University of Texas at Austin, go Longhorns, and I did my GI fellowship training at the Mayo Clinic. So guys, let's talk about poop.
All right, if you're joining me for the first time, my name is Dr. Islam, and yes, I am your poop guru. Every other Tuesday, I go live on the social media streams to answer your questions you may have about any topics, and I do a deep dive on topics as well. If you're joining for the first time, don't forget to smash that like button, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know if you're watching this live or on the replay, and where you're watching this at as well. I love to hear where my audience is watching the videos from. And if you have a question for me, don't forget to comment down below, where you can put your questions and I can hopefully answer those as we do our live videos. Hope you guys are having a great December. I love this weather outside. It is great fall weather. I love seeing the leaves come down. I went running this morning. I love running in the cold. I hate running in general, but I decided to go ahead and do it. This is for me, it's one of the best times. I know the holiday season is coming up. I am so excited today about today's show. Michelle, it's good seeing you. Thank you for watching live. Raymond, thank you for watching it live as well. And Vicky, thank you for watching on the live stream as well. All right, so in today's video, let's talk about number 1, better bowel habits. Question number 1, how do bowel movements work and how often should they be happening? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you wondered how exactly do you poop? And the question I get all the time, hey, Dr. Islam, what is considered normal? It's so confusing. So let's talk about how, the whole process of pooping. How does it work and how does it go? Well, you'd be surprised the process of having a bowel movement actually starts in your mouth with digestion. I know! Bowel movements in your mouth, but it actually does start in your mouth. You actually start the digestion process as soon as you start to ingest your food. You have actually hormones and enzymes inside your mouth to help to break down food. After that, it goes down your esophagus into your stomach, and your stomach is the main organ that you have to help churn down food, to break it down into its lowest components, and to help absorb food as well. And the acid in your stomach helps to break that food down. Then it goes into your small intestine, where you start to have more and more absorption occurring. You break down more and more of those nutrients. You take those nutrients to your body where it needs to go. Then it goes into your colon, and your colon is the organ which you absorb a lot more water, and this is actually where you start to form your bowel movements after all the parts of your body before that grab the nutritional components that it needs. And it goes down your colon, where it stays into your rectum, and your rectum is actually where you hold your bowel movement until you actually are ready to use the restroom. Then it expels out, and then you go about your day. And that's the whole process of actually how bowel movements work. But the main parts of your body which have the biggest impact when it comes to your bowel habits are your colon and your rectum. That's typically where we want to focus our treatment on to allow you to have good bowel habits. So, question number 2, what is considered regular? Let me know in the comments down below what number you think is considered normal or regular, because I have a lot of patients ask me about this all the time. So I'm curious to see what you guys think. Guess what the real scientific answer is. It is between 3 a day to 3 per week. It is such a wide range. That is considered normal. So if you're going maybe 4 times a week, guess what? You are within the normal range of having bowel habits. Perfectly fine. That's not important to me. People are always so obsessed about the number of times that they're using the restroom. Who cares? It does not matter. What matters to me is how you feel when you go. Meaning, you can go every single day and still feel like you're not completely emptying everything out. And that for me is constipation. Or you can go once a week and you empty everything out. You feel great. Not a problem at all. I wouldn't even worry about that. So more important than how often that you go is how you feel when you do go. And if you feel like you've had a good bowel movement, that epic dump, oh yeah, that's what you want, then you know that you're doing well. And I'm happy with that. Don't focus on the number. Focus on how you feel. All right, let's go to the comments. Nakia, thank you for watching live in Michigan. Ellen, thank you for watching from Canada as well. Good, thank you for watching as well. I will get to your question very soon, Gillespie. It's a very good question that you have. How to take an epic dump in the morning? Oh, yes, we'll go into that. I love that, and I talk about that a lot. And we'll answer some of your questions live as well. Nova's good seeing you as well. Raymond, thank you for answering. It's not once a day, like I mentioned before. It's between three times a day and 3 times per week. And perfect. All right. Sounds good. All right. So question number 2. So what exactly causes bowel movements to become bowel stops? What causes constipation? Now, constipation is such a difficult problem for patients and also for us as physicians to have, because there's so many reasons why people are constipated, and it could be a combination of all the different causes that are there. Number 1 for sure is diet. Diet plays a big role when it comes to constipation. If you eat like crap, you're going to poop like crap. You're not going to poop very, very good. I'll go into a little bit about what steps I recommend. Number 2, you may have certain medical conditions that make it more difficult for you to have a bowel movement, whether it's diabetes or autoimmune diseases or some other thing that slows down your GI tract. Number 3, you actually may be on medications that have a side effect of constipation. Almost every single medication out there has some GI side effect, whether it's pain, bloating, diarrhea, or constipation. And some of the more common medications that can cause constipation include blood pressure medications, pain medications, opiates, things like that. Things that you may not think may be playing a role in your gut actually does play a role in your gut. It can make people constipated. Next, that you can have rectum issues. Sometimes the rectum muscles are so tight that nothing wants to pass through, and you are literally anally retentive. Nothing will pass through. Number 5, you may have an underlying GI issue, whether it's irritable bowel syndrome, leaky gut, dysbiosis, pelvic floor dysfunction. Next, that you actually may have a protrusion in your bottom preventing things from passing out, whether there are very large hemorrhoids, whether there's a rectocele or a cystocele or things like that. And for some people, it may be all the above. And sometimes that makes it more difficult for me as a GI doctor to treat patients of constipation, because it may be things outside the GI tract that are affecting what's going on in there, or you may need some surgical treatment to get this taken care of for you as well. So, question number 3, if you are constipated and stopped up, what can you do today to help out with those bowel movements? Well, let's go into my recommendation. Number 1, there are certain supplements that have been helpful to help soften your stools and allow you to go. One of them is magnesium. Magnesium over the counter is usually very safe, but you have to do this under the supervision of a doctor so we can check magnesium levels. But it helps to make your stools softer, easier to go through, and easier to pass. This is one of the tricks that I recommend for a lot of my patients who are constipated. And on that, I would add fiber as well. And I have found taking fiber supplements as opposed to fibrous foods tends to be better when it comes to constipation. What you want to look for is you want to look for something called psyllium, Psyllium. This is one of the fiber supplements you need to have as an over-the-counter supplement, sometimes with magnesium as well, to allow you to have good effective bowel habits. And for most of our patients, this works great, allows them to go, and they have good bowel habits with that. Sometimes you may need to add over-the-counter laxatives like Miralax. Very, very safe to take. We have a lot of good clinical studies on the long-term use of Miralax. I know a lot of people are concerned about their bowels becoming more used to the Miralax or having issues with that, but there are no long-term effects from taking long-term Miralax. Make sure, obviously, you speak to your doctor for that. Some people may need enemas on top of that. That's perfectly fine because it helps to start the process of your rectum to move things through. And it's very safe to do this long-term as long as we understand why you're having the constipation. But for some other people, this may not work, which is why we have very effective medical prescriptions to allow you to use to hopefully have you have more effective bowel habits and help out with some discomfort that can be with that as well. But stress plays a role when it comes to constipation. So sometimes dealing with stress, whether it's going for a walk, going for a run, exercising, this will help out with constipation. I just mentioned before, exercising allows you to help move your bowels, move things through, and allow you to help with whatever else you're trying as well. For some people, we actually need to retrain their bowels. So pelvic floor training is a very effective option for our patients who have what's called pelvic floor dysfunction, in which the rectum muscles are too tight. It actually works fantastic. And then lastly, for some individuals, we need surgery. Yes, surgery. Sometimes we need to fix that rectocele that's there, fix those hemorrhoids. Or for some individuals who have severe constipation, we may need to remove either part of their colon or their whole entire colon as well. And that sometimes is an option for a lot of our patients. But these are things that we use as doctors to hopefully help out when it comes to constipation. All right, let me know if you have any more questions on constipation. I'm going to go into the live stream and live chat as well. Sorry, so Thomas and Bella says, isn't it safe to use a bidet? 100% it is safe to use a bidet. Hey, I am a bidet fan. I love bidets. And I think that if you are able to get a bidet, it is fantastic. It keeps you clean. If you have that feeling of not being clean all the time or you have very large hemorrhoids, use a bidet. It is fantastic. It is safe, very easy to install. And as a GI doctor, I am 100% in favor of bidets. They're very good, very effective. And I think that's a fantastic option if you're wanting to keep yourself clean. Great question. So a good question here from Nakia. Nakia asks, is fenugreek supplement good to take? So I will tell you that fenugreek actually is a very good GI supplement. We do recommend it for some patients who have maybe IBS issues, whether it's constipation or diarrhea. I don't know exactly about the metabolism question, but fenugreek is very effective. We use it for some of our patients. It actually acts as a very effective supplement to allow you to have better bowel habits and help out when it comes to IBS issues. Great question. All right. So Frederick, thank you for watching from Burnett, Texas. So I'm going through some of the questions as well. Oh, that's a good question. JC, it's a good question here. So if you have a good diet normally that has fiber, and on top of that you add psyllium husks, will that create a problem? Typically not. But when it comes to fiber, what we typically recommend is to go low and then go slow, meaning that some people have a dual-edged sword when it comes to fiber. And sometimes for some individuals, it can cause a lot more bloating and a lot more discomfort than what they had before. So typically you want to go low and go slow when it comes to fiber supplementation. I found when it comes to constipation, sometimes it's easier to take that supplement as opposed to trying something else in terms of foods. All right. Great questions, guys. Perfect. All right. So topic number 2, the microbiome. Why is the microbiome important? And why is the microbiome a macro big deal? Did you guys get that? Oh, yes. So funny. I'll be here all night. All right. Let me know if you have any questions about the microbiome before I go into topic number 2. So what exactly is the microbiome? Let me know in the comments. Have you heard about the microbiome? Do you know what it is? What exactly is it? So the microbiome is a collection of different bacteria, fungi, and viruses inside your GI tract. And it acts as an ecosystem inside your gut, interacting with each other, talking to each other, producing things with each other. And this microbiome also allows things to occur and communicate with things outside the GI tract, whether it's your brain, whether it's your nervous system, whether it's your hormones or other glands or your skin. There is a symbiotic relationship between what is going on inside your gut and everything else going on inside your body as well. And everybody's microbiome is so unique. Mine is different from my kids, which is different from yours as well. It depends on a lot of different factors, whether it's stress. Stress can play a role when it comes to the microbiome. Use of antibiotics, which can wipe out your natural gut microbiome as well. How were you delivered, whether you had a vaginal delivery or a cesarean section, if you were breastfed or you had bottle feed or formula feed as well, the types of food you're eating now, type of foods you were eating before, how much fiber is inside your diet. All of these things play a role in making your microbiome unique. The best analogy is like your fingerprint. My fingerprint is very different from your fingerprint, and what is in my microbiome will be very different from yours. And the microbiome can be used as an ally, or sometimes it can be an enemy for us as well, depending if we treat our microbiome good. So for example, there are some things inside our gut that can allow us to have a more healthier existence, better skin, better hair, and better GI issues. And if your microbiome is out of whack and not working correctly, it can make those issues worse as well. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. All right, perfect. So question number 2, hey, Dr. Islam, what are signs of a bad microbiome? Well, basically, you're going to have symptoms of what's called dysbiosis or leaky gut, whether it's abdominal pain, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, sometimes acid reflux as well. If you have irritable bowel syndrome or sometimes even Crohn's or colitis, you just feel inflamed, that could be a GI sign of something going on inside your microbiome. But other things outside the GI tract, whether it's just feeling tired all the time, just feeling itchy and having dandruff, just not having mental fog or brain fog as well, having skin allergies or food allergies, or just not feeling good. This can also be a sign of a damaged microbiome as well. And unless we can address that, it's going to continue to be the root cause of why you're having some of the issues that you're having as well. So now that we talked about signs of a bad microbiome, what can you do and what are some keys to improve your microbiome? If you're having some of these symptoms like bloating, dissension, leaky gut, what can you do today to help improve that gut microbiome? Well, here's what I'm going to recommend. When it comes to your microbiome, you really need to adjust your diet. Diet by far plays a substantial role in changing how your microbiome is and how your microbiome is going to be. The best diet by far to improve your gut microbiome is to have a diet that has a wide variety of plants. By far, plants are probably going to be the best thing to improve your gut microbiome, and you really need to incorporate more of a plant-based diet. You can try all the supplements in the world, you can try everything, but unless you have that foundation of a wide, diverse variety of plants in your diet, it's not going to make much of a difference. Number 2, if you can minimize meats, processed foods, and sugar, these act as fertilizers for the bad guys inside your GI tract. So if you can minimize that, that's going to make a tremendous difference in terms of your gut microbiome. If you can stop alcohol, alcohol is a deterrent and a toxic agent to your GI tract and your liver. And if you can stop that, that's going to help improve your microbiome. If you're smoking, come on guys, it's almost 2022. Smoking is terrible for your life, terrible for your health, and also terrible for your gut microbiome. You need to minimize that. And there are certain medications that are known to help destroy your gut microbiome as well. So things like Aleve, naproxen, Advil, Motrin. If you can minimize or eliminate that, that's going to improve your gut microbiome as well. And if you can start to add more prebiotic foods into your diet, whether it's things that are fermented foods like tofu, tempeh, kimchi, sauerkraut, plants, fibers, these are things that you can add onto your diet. They're very good, they taste great, and they're great for your gut microbiome as well. These are my tips that I recommend to help improve your gut microbiome. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, or if you guys have tried this as well. All right, let's go into some of the questions as well. Perfect. So Andrew, it's a very good question. Why are there some doctors that believe in leaky gut and some that thinks it's jargon? It's a very good question. So When it comes to leaky gut, it is a very controversial topic inside the GI world, mainly because we don't know a lot about it. Now, what we do know is that there are certain individuals or certain conditions in which you have low-lying inflammation going on inside the GI tract. And we know that low-lying inflammation causes your tight junctions, which are the junctions in your GI tract, which are normally very, very tight, to loosen up and cause bacteria to flow through there. Now, what are the long-term consequences for that? We don't quite know yet. We do know that that does lead to some conditions like bloating, diarrhea, and constipation, or irritable bowel syndrome. But we also know that that can also be due to multiple different factors as well. And the people who really talk about leaky gut are people who are unfortunately not in the medical field. They're people who either have an agenda where they're trying to push a product, or they are people who don't have any training, or the people who've heard one thing, they expand on it, and they think they're experts. But when you look at the science behind it, we don't have as much information as what we think is going on. But it is reassuring to know that we're doing active research in this. And not only that, we are seeing that there's some components of leaky gut which are true, and there are other components which we know are not true. And I think in the next couple of years, we're going to get more and more information on them. But what we do know is that for a lot of our patients, diet plays a role when it comes to gut issues. And I've seen patients who've been able to change their diet to improve leaky gut or symptoms of leaky gut and to make themselves feel a lot better as well. It's hard to do. Not everyone's going to be able to do it. Sometimes you need medical therapy, but if there's a role for diet, that's going to be helpful when it comes to conditions like that. Great question. All right, perfect. All right. So question number 3. Let me see. Oh, question. All right. Topic number 3, the gut-brain connection. The brain in your belly, your second brain. So question number 1, how are your brain and gut connected? So I can tell you, it's fascinating because you know that gut feeling that people have? Well, that's your second brain inside your gut. Or those butterflies in your stomach? That's your second brain. Or having a sensitive gut? That's your second brain. There is a connection with all the neurotransmitters and hormones between what is released in your gut and what goes to your brain and what goes to your nervous system as well. There is a direct connection between the brain-gut. It's called the brain-gut axis. So what happens here can manifest here, and what happened here can manifest here as well. It's a fascinating combination of the connection between your brain and the gut. And we have different neurons, different hormones, different microbiomes that play a significant role when it comes to the gut-brain connection. So question number 2, how does your gut impact your emotional health? So have you ever been in a nervous situation, all of a sudden you have to use the restroom, or you have those butterflies in your stomach when you're having to speak in front of an audience? That is the connection between your brain and emotional health, because your gut is one of the biggest areas to produce serotonin, which is a hormone that's used when it comes to emotional health. In addition, stress can be manifested and explained by what is going on either in your brain and in your gut as well. So sometimes us as GI doctors, by treating your gut condition, we don't necessarily treat your gut. We actually treat what's going on here to break that cycle of stress and strain to allow your gut to heal, to improve what's going on inside your GI tract. So question number 3, what are some supplements that I recommend that will also feed the gut, but also feed the brain? Now, I'm not a big proponent of supplements, but there are some things you can supplement with to help improve what's going on. Number 1, you know the answer, guys, fiber. Fiber is a fantastic supplement that you can add into your diet, add in as a supplement, add it into whatever you can to improve your gut and to also improve your brain as well. Number 2, consider adding prebiotic foods. Prebiotic foods are foods that are naturally good for you, that improve your natural good guys, make them better, helpfully boost what's going on, give them the fertilizer that they need to allow them to do what they need to do. So things like kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, tofu, these are very effective fermented prebiotic foods, which are really, really good. Number 3, have a variety of plants and vegetables in your diet. And number 4, consider, I didn't say you had to, but consider adding probiotics. And out of all these recommendations that I have, probiotics are probably the last thing I would recommend. But if you can change your diet, add these particular foods, improve what's going on inside your mouth, this is going to improve what is going on as well in terms of your gut. Guys, that's all the time that we have today. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all your questions, but I want to thank you for watching. If you have any questions for me, feel free to send me a DM, send me a message. Tune in not next Tuesday, but in 2 weeks, where we're going to go live again. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button, like, share, and subscribe. And also let me know if you're watching this live or on the replay. And if you want to if you want to know when the next Poop Tip Tuesday is, don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter. And also don't forget to like my page. Hope you guys have a happy and healthy day. Take care, everyone. Thanks, everybody.